guys, Mark from Gunpla Network, and today I'm bringing you another special review, this time courtesy of Ryan and the awesome guys at Hobbyco. The Gunpla Expo has just finished by the time this kit will be coming out to you for review, but as you can see here, it's the MG Psycho Zaku Vakar, the clear or half clear mechanical version, I guess. Big thanks to them for letting me review this. It was an awesome build. I built this for the Expo display, so yeah, let's get into it, I guess. You can see it here. Usually I'd give you the mechanical inner frame look first on its own before fully armored up kit, but I didn't have a whole lot of time because I had to pump this out over Christmas, New Year's, you know, in between work and holidays and stuff, and get it in time for the Expo to display. So it was a really cool kit. This is my first Vakar and I was really scared about building this one. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. I guess it's one of those things, if you just build it up in your mind, it's probably worse than it actually is. So, yeah, not scary at all. Big, but not scary. Alright, so you can see that one spinning around there. It is red and blues are the clear parts. The brown for the tanks, they're clear as well. The hands are brown clear. The joints and frame are all as per standard, with those coverings over the joints and the hoses. Not as bad as everyone said, I thought. And I think they look decent. But there's the decals, the water slides are standard, and then the reds and blues and stuff. They're kind of like half clear, you can see through them, but not as a full clear kit where you can just see through the armor itself. So I think this is a good compromise. I'm not a fan of clear kits, but having this colored clear, I think, you know, it makes it look really good to me. So, alright, let's dive in and take a look at the accessories. So I've classed the tanks and backpack and stuff as an accessory. Here it all is. So there's all your weapons, backpack, tank, 2 propellant tanks, sorry, and a booster pack, I guess. So I guess this is a booster as well, / tank. It's got thrusters on the end. The brown bits are clear, and I will say, trying to clean the nubs off of this thing, I invented some new swear words or things I'd never said before. It was just that painful. On the normal kit, I'm not quite sure if they're as bad because I haven't built the standard one. There's your attachments front and rear, so you got those on the end, and the way it attaches onto the tank is the grey parts up there. Looks cool, really easy, it's only like 6 pieces. Okay, so for the 2 smaller propellant / booster tanks, you got thrusters on the end and the connection piece in grey on the other end. It is somewhat clear. Yes, it has nubs, not as bad as the big tank, but still has them. So a lot of decals as well. There's your mount for the bazookas. Now on this one, same thing. You get 2 Zaku machine gun pieces. The ammo packs, and then you've got some space for other things to click on. And also how it mounts to it plugs straight into the backpack, and then the other piece snaps in. Alright, the backpack itself, highly articulated, really cool looking, and has a really cool locking mechanism for actually holding the kit onto it. Because I say onto it because the backpack mounts to the stand and then the kit mounts to the backpack. So you can see there, thruster bells everywhere. These thruster bells, I was scared. There were so many around the kit, the packs and everything, and there just wasn't the nubs on them. They were actually really good once you cut close enough, and a light wipe over. You can see there, the white pieces are separate, grey pieces separate, and this locking mechanism is that piece, it's hard to see, but the round piece actually has like a little tab on it, so when you insert into the kit and then turn the tab down on the side of the backpack, it actually locks into the kit, so you can't remove it. You've got to undo the tab and then pull the kit out. It's got the extendable arms to hold weapons and ammunition, or change anything like that, kind of like in the anime when it passed everything forward over its backpack, or cleared some stuff out of its face if debris was floating around. And Thunderbolt is one of my favourite animes, so I'm definitely going to pick up the HG of this to go with my HG full armor Gundam I still have on my shelf there. I don't know if I'll get the MGs yet, but definitely cool to be able to build it and check it first. So there you go, you can see the backpack is pretty cool looking. You can see it's got inner frame pieces in the backpack as well. You get 3 Sturmfaust, so that was a grenade that it kind of just hits and launches. That's really cool. It's 2 pieces sandwiched together with a piece that goes on top, I believe, from the build. The decals were an SOB. Once again, some swear words were used when applying decals to most of this stuff because they have really long decals, except for the axes. When you get to the Heat Hawks, those 2 Heat Hawks, you only have space to store 1 on the back skirt, but you do get 2, which is, you know, great. So you can leave 1 on the back skirt and 1 in his hand. They were easy as. The Zaku machine guns, you get 2 guns, but you get 8 ammo drums. So 2 for the thing, and then 2 on each of the... sorry, that's 6. Yeah, 2 on each of the tanks. And they're just the standard kind of 2-piece sandwich together. With a few decals. There's a clear piece in the scope, and a few long around the scope and the barrel decals to apply. Not too bad if you take your time. The machine guns were relatively easy and nub-free. Alright, you get 3 bazookas, or standard bazookas. Piece on the end that moves there, like a grab ring or a storage ring, I guess. Hand grip and a scope. Now, you can't see it. I won't open them up, but you can see the back. Sorry, the scope opens up, I should say. It's a very clear piece in there. There's a cover on it. A few decals. But at the back, it does actually have bazooka ammo inside of there. So if you kind of wanted to have another kit loading up behind him, you could open that up and have them holding the piece open to reload the bazookas, I guess. Or a diorama with that on it. So those 3 attach to the top tank. And now I get to my favorite weapon ever, which it can't hold properly. The beam bazooka. So this, I think, was a prototype weapon for the Dom. That sticker was a real BITCH to put on there. The front white one. But the rest weren't too bad because they're all just small. It's got a movable hand grip. It's got a clear scope on it, and like a radome setup almost on the side. Some sensors. So pretty detailed, pretty simple weapon, but it looks really awesome. Next up, let's take a look at the kit itself. Now, I didn't have time to film it separately, but the leg armor actually has extra armor over the top of the standard, say, high mobility type Zaku 2.0. Now, with the, what I would point out is the coverings here. What I used was a pencil or a marker, or even my hobby knife, the end of it. You can slide the plastic pieces down and over once you've cut them to size, scrunch them up over the texture or whatever you're using to keep them from slipping and sliding and breaking, and then hold the pencil over the joint or up to the joint and slide them straight off of the texture onto the joint. The only one I couldn't do that was on the head because they were too small, so I did them on a toothpick and then slowly crept them on there. Up here on the head, as you turn the head, it has the gimmick where it turns the mono eye as well. Really cool. That's actually a decal on the mono eye, so when you're first building, you might want to have your decal solution stuff out. The head's got some articulation, not a whole lot. If we go to the arm, you've got the ball spike shoulder part here. That white piece is a separate piece that you put in there, which is really cool. I love the amount of color separation detail they went into on this kit. If you see white, it's a separate white piece except for the decals on the skirts. You've also got the shield arm that moves around a lot. And yeah, that was just, it spins around unimpeded there, if you don't have the pack on, I should say. You can only get so high though unless you turn the shield. Very stable compared to, say, its RG brethren though, around the shoulders. The arms will pull out though on the peg. That's the only drawback, and you may see them come off a few times. I swore a bit while first trying to do this video. You can see they're all decaled up and nice. The orange pieces are solid color. They do not, they're not see-through at all. The antenna fin decal was a bit of a pain to put on, but it got there. Like I said, take your time and it's fine. A lot of nice decal markings on this thing. Shield can turn to the side. Even with the plastic scrunchy sound there, you can get a full bend out of the arm. It doesn't stop it at all. It's really cool. I did like that. Some people don't like these plastics, they hate them, but if you try that method I mentioned, sliding them over an object first, like a pen or a texter, and then scrunching them up and sliding them onto the part, I found it made it 100% easier than the way the guide says to do it. On the back, you get a few decals. Now, I should mention the side skirts. The side skirts are held in by friction and hopes and dreams. There is nothing else holding these things up. The hands, you do get a closed hands and an open hands for holding. That's it. Like, it's not like you get the fully, or you do get the fully articulated hands, but not in their spare parts. They're not meant to be used with this. All the orange, you can see the solid parts on the side skirt. They're all extra bits. On the front skirt, that's got a rotating motion there. That's held, the front skirt and back skirt are held in quite well, but the 4 side pieces around it, just the way they're held on with those little orange tabs pushed up there, don't work very well at all. Back skirt, you can put the heat hawk on the back. It's got a little mechanical detail up under there which moves, really good, though you wouldn't get a whole lot of movement on this on its own. So yeah, on the side skirts, there's also a lot of decals, but taking your time, they will work pretty well. Those orange pieces, horrendous. They will not hold these things in. They just fall out at a glance at them wrong. They're off. They're out. You can kind of push them up. I didn't really ever get a clicking feel from them, but I was being extra. There goes the arm again. I was being extra cautious with this kit because it wasn't mine to keep. So if I break something, everyone's going to see it at Expo. It was just that kind of build. It's almost like a commission. So if you lift the front skirt up, let's talk about the legs. The legs into the waist joint. At first I thought they were faulty. See, goes all the way up nice in there and it's staying. Mine kept popping out. I realized you really have to force them in until you hear a click. You feel like you're going to break it, but you won't. See, good bend, even with the hose and the knee joint covered in that plastic. Like I said, doesn't impede it at all. The plastic just adds to the look because in this Thunderbolt sector there's so much more dust and debris, you need it to cover the mechanical joint so you don't get anything in there. So there you go. We'll go with the back skirt lifting up, we'll go back. And yeah, it's really solid, this kit. It is actually, apart from those side skirts and the arm coming out off the peg, really cool. This is the extra armor parts I'm talking about. The back, the side, the inner part are actually extra armor over the top. There is armor under there I've already built onto the frame. The feet will go all the way down. They have that cool split in them. And if we take a closer look, after we turn that there, good movement. And the kit does stand on its own. Not with the backpack, I don't think it would stand on its own, sorry, with the tanks and everything, but take your tweezers or your knife, lift there, there's a thruster in the middle, and lift there. And there you go. That's so we can latch onto colonies and asteroids and stuff, or kick another mobile suit and damage them, I guess. But yeah, that was a really cool gimmick, I thought, built in. Alright. The waist does move a little, but you wouldn't want too much movement on this kit in the waist because it would just fall over horribly. The cockpit does open up if you lift this part up at the chest. And then you go try and slide this up and open. There. Okay. Now, this is going to be really hard to see in there, guys. I'm sorry, but it's got that same gimmick the 2.0 Zakus have, because that's what the base is. You, under the backpack itself, if you take that off, there's a mechanism you can slide. Sorry, that's out of frame. But take the backpack off at the top, and there's actually a tab you can slide across, and that opens the cockpit door, or the inner frame inside. And it will reveal a little Daryl Lorenz figure, who had to sacrifice all his limbs to pilot this mobile suit. So he's in basically a little sarcophagus sort of thing, like a little seat, and all you see really is his head coming out of it. It's in the painting guide. You can take a look at the picture in the unboxing. It's back here. It's really... the thrusters move a little, not much. But it is quite hard to see inside that, so yeah, just when you're building your own, paint first before you put the figure in. Okay, so now we come to the biggest part of the kit. So here you can see fully on its stand now, which is kind of like almost like a semi-curved bracket that attaches to the top of the stand and plugs into the bottom of the backpack. All the decals, weapons, everything is all loaded up. This thing is massive. you know, basically it's you end up with a backpack kit that has a Zaku mounted to it. It's really the only way I can put it. But alright, so there you go. Take a full look around. You can see that it's got all the weapons. So you've got your machine guns, Sturmfaust, bazookas, all mounted up to it. The spare ammo drums on the smaller tanks. Thruster bells everywhere, which, like I said, weren't too bad, despite the fact they're gold and there felt like 100 of these things on the kit. Nothing really too bad in terms of nubs, just the tanks. You can see you got the backpack arms, the tanks got tons of decals. The straight line ones were a bit of an SOB, really hard, and there are lots of those long line curved ones. You will need the softer and setter, either of them, Tamiya or whatever you need, like solutions to do the decals. But overall, it looks pretty good. And here we go, fully mounted up with all weaponry and everything on the kit now. So that beam bazooka, just love it. It's awesome looking. But now you can do a bit of a shake test and see. Pretty stable. You'll see it spinning around on it. I actually did manage to get a spin on my little rotating base and it didn't fall over or fall off. It was quite well balanced. Once it's on, if you've got it locked in place, it's fine. What you'll see here though is the arm. I've actually blue tacked the back of the beam bazooka to the shoulder to get it to, otherwise the wrist can't support the weight. But the arm will not hold that thing up. I mean, obviously you've got limitations with the shield and the backpack being able to move it up so high, but yeah, I mean, look, overall, I thought this was an amazing kit. Really fun build, long build, so you're in it for the long haul. But yeah, just highly detailed and a good representation of the Thunderbolt series. So you can see lots of bracket supports there in between the tanks to help them all stay together and support the weapons. Okay, so what I'm going to point out now is that as you take a look around the back of the kit here, you can, I guess what these arms were actually meant for in the anime was to be able to swing around, because you can't reach around with the standard Zaku arms and grab anything. So these were like weapon grabbing arms, so he could pass over to him or even, you know, fight for him. They're an extension of his, you know, Zaku. So they do rotate, and sorry I'm doing this off camera, but it's a bit fiddly and the kit's a bit big. Alright, and here it is. It is actually spinning on the base. Sorry, I've had to move it out a fair bit, so you will see a bit of wall or something outside my photo booth there. Spinning around, I've got a Sturmfaust mounted up in the arm. It's grabbed that with the backpack. You have the other arm grabbing a bazooka or a machine gun or an ammo drum. We've dumped the beam bazooka now. We've got the heat hawk, and it's just really, yeah, it's so good. I cannot describe to you how good this kit is. I've managed to get the legs kind of to kick forward a little there, but I was struggling to get the waist to lock forward and keep the legs kicking up forward, and then you could have those grappling feet extended out. Now, it's solid. There you go, guys. Back with the beam bazooka spinning up there. It struggles to hold that weapon up. It's the coolest weapon there, but it's just too heavy for the arms. Overall, I'm going to say this is definitely a buy, whether you get it in the clear or the standard colouring, and if you have enough space and get the MG Full Armour Gundam Vokara as well, these would be an awesome pair fighting off. I've seen a diorama and a display case at GBWC last year with these two in it, and I mean that was outside the rules actually. That kit didn't qualify because it was so big, but this is just an amazing kit. Definitely one to get, guys. Big thanks to Hobbyco for letting me build this and getting my first Vokara experience. Hopefully that means I'll be doing some more in the next year or so. But yeah, I don't know what to say other than buy this kit. It's definitely one to get. Alright, big thank you for watching, guys. I know it was a bit of a longer review, but I had to break it down into parts and do each thing individually, otherwise you wouldn't be able to get the whole picture if I just showed it to you like this. So, alright, I guess I'll catch you at the next review.